Good morning, colleagues. I think, colleagues, I think we can get started. I'm sure everyone has joined now. Those who will come will find us. We're trying to continue on where we ended. We started actually looking at where is it? Okay. Uh, we started our other units where we're looking at the threat intelligence consumption. Yeah, so we looked at the introduction, what threat intelligence is, the importance of threat intelligence. Okay, then the threat intelligence life cycle, where we looked at the requirement. There's an aspect of data collection. Once you collect this data, you have to do the analysis. Okay. After the analysis, there's an aspect of dissemination. You disseminate um, the the information you've gotten from the analysis. Then there's an aspect of feedback. Okay, so that is a diagram depicting the threat intelligence life cycle. Okay, there you set a roadmap at the requirement for threat intelligence operations. Then you go forward to collect information to satisfy the objectives that you set in step one. There's an aspect of processing where the raw data is processed into a format is suitable for analysis. Then you conduct the actual analysis. Now, in the actual analysis, you find the answers to questions posed during requirement specifications. In short, you are trying to to come up with the objectives. Sorry, to answer to measure the objectives that you had set in step two. Then there's an aspect of dissemination that is coming from step five, where you translate analysis into tangible forms for stakeholders. Then from there, the feedback is the last step, where you receive stakeholders' feedback and establish the adjustment for the future. So this is an aspect of threat intelligence life cycle. It is basically a life cycle that is conducted. So went further to look at some threat intelligence use cases, where we said this is made out of um, three main stages. We have the tactical, the operational, as well as the strategic. Okay, tactical, operations, as well as um, strategic. So that's the threat intelligence capability. So you find that from tactical, you look at the threat feeds, difficulty stage. Okay, then you consider the real time alerts. Then you monitor, then you act the actor profiling, you do that. Then you move to operational intelligence reporting. Then there's campaign tracking, as well as the research threats. So this is what we looked at last time. Then we went um, to look at the types of threat intelligence, where we said you can look at it in three main categories. The first one being tactical, then the second one being operational, and then we have the strategic. And then these were discussed. We looked at the operational and manage quality. Today we are actually supposed to start on the organization. Okay, so this is what we are going to look at. Are we together, colleagues? Thank you. So this section presents an overview of organization. You talk about the organization roles and skills that are required for running the best practice threat intelligence capability. Okay, so you are basically trying to focus on the roles and skills that that are required. Okay, that are required to run the best practice practice threat intelligence capability. So in other words, having described the processes, what, when, where, and how, we now consider the whole aspect, okay, in the organization. Because you can look at it here, we are talking about the roles as well as the skills. Who is supposed to do what? Okay, so because threat intelligence remains in an early stage of definition, it is not possible to define an exhaustive list of organizational elements needed to produce it well. Nonetheless, there's enough information available to produce an initial specification. So this is further developed in the sister report by CBEST Service Assessment Guide. So we have this CBEST Service Assessment Guide that has actually provided the framework, a clear framework that is needed when you want to categorize the roles as well as the skills needed to respond to threats in the organization. And this is actually looked at in form of um, uh, the best policy, actually, which is supposed to be a guide. Okay, and this guide clearly state or stipulate who does what and at what time. So under the organization, we have what we call the structure. That is the first item. Okay, there's a structure. So we can say, well, an intelligence function organization can be structured in a number of different ways. The most commonly adopted are hierarchical and flat model. Okay, so in terms of the structure, we are saying we are trying to see um, how the intelligence function can be uh, structured in the organization. So we're talking about the most common one uh, being the hierarchical and flat model. Okay, so the advantage of the classic hierarchical management model is the clear chain of command that enables it to respond to customer quickly. Remember, we are looking at who does what and what skills do they need in order for them to respond to this threat. Okay, so that's why we are saying the hierarchical part, the hierarchical and flat models, these are the commonly one that are used in this class, in the structure of the organization. And the advantage is that the hierarchical management model is the clear has the clear chain of command. Okay, it has a clear chain of command, and this clear chain of command helps in quickly responding to customer queries. Okay, and again, the other important part of this structure is that it also closely aligns with government and military functions, because this is according to the CBEST guide. Okay, and it provides support to team members who are new to the intelligence aspect. However, despite these advantages, the layered structure can cause intelligence to be degraded or lost between command layers, because you can see if you move commands, you know, through different levels or different layers, you'll find that this can cause problems. Okay, this can cause problem in a sense that it can create delays and slows the analysis of new information. So this delay is informally known as the blink potential. So this is the delay that is associated with this model we are looking at. Okay, the blink potential. So in the flat structure, team members can easily pass data between peers. Okay, that is the advantage of this structure. Okay, so you can pass information among yourselves. Of course, this information is to do with um, cyber intelligence, the information that you've gathered. So this fluid or and blinking eye mode of operation reduces the risk of loss of intelligence. So with this kind of technology, you can there's no loss of intelligence information. So the freedom of a flat management structure also suits more experienced analysts. Okay, so meaning for you to apply this model, okay, where you use the flat aspect, then you must have wide experience. Okay, you must have wide experience. Okay, because now um, there is no management control or oversight over this when you are applying this system or this model. Okay, okay. Though this lack of control and oversight can have a negative consequences, particularly with regard to preventing, okay, to preventing what we call scope creep and coordinating operations. Scope creep, this is an aspect that makes probably the project to delay or drag further because you find that your terms of references keeps on being amended time without numbers and so forth. As a result, the the time frame that you expected to finish the project get um, to be overlooked. Okay. So in practice, we're saying a hybrid approach is often adopted, such as such as a federated or a hub and spoke models, where there is a mix of centralized control and distributed. Okay. So looking at the negative aspect of each of these models, the hybrid is often recommended. Okay, is often used where you just at least take advantages of both models. That's what is okay. Another question is where an intelligent function should be located within an organization. This is a very important question that you need to ask yourself. Where should we place the intelligence function in the organization? Now, the answer to that question is that it could reside within the IT department, either operations department, or finance department, or risk department. Okay. Now the idea is that in each case of the function will reap the benefit that arise from being integrated with that part of the business. Technical efficient business oversight, return on investment, independent oversight, and security capability, respectively. So that's what we are saying here to say. You can place your intelligence unit in any of these departments. It could be the IT, the operation, the finance, or the risk. But now, each the idea is that whichever department, whichever the case, you can reap the benefits of that. It depends with the sensitivity of the operations or the particular business that is being undertaken in that particular department. So on the other hand, again, the function can become a niche, okay, biased and blinkered as a result of residing in a business silos. Again, we are saying despite that you can reside this um, unit in any of the department, but again, this may not occur well again, okay? Because other department may feel like their aspects are not considered many mostly. So as a result, this becomes a problem. So many organizations will choose to subsume their intelligence functions within their existing security function, or alternatively transform their security function into an intelligent function. This is the common custom now, where many organizations have just decided um, to transform this um, like the security department into one that can take into consideration these uh, these um, these functionalities we are actually discussing. Okay. Still others will establish an intelligence function so that it is completely separate from the existing security function. Okay. However, given tight budgets and constantly evolving threat landscape, maintaining two operations may not be sustainable. So intelligence and security are increasingly being viewed as partners, since the intelligence produce forms and input to the security cycle. So we're saying these are not looked at differently, but they are considered and looked at side by side, because whatever is comes from the intelligent analysis actually is supposed to be part of the intelligence cycle input. Okay, so that's what we are saying. So the two cannot really be looked at uh, in isolation. Yes, Gaston, your hand is up. Gaston, your hand was up. Are we? So now, regardless of where the intelligence function fits in the organization, it should be conducted in partnership with other organization functions that may be consumers of the intelligence or valuable resources of input for intelligence product. So regardless of where it is, we are saying this should be considered as um, uh, valuable input. Okay, it should not be isolated from other functions of the department. So this include risk, finance, market, legal, human resource, internal audit, IT development, and operations. So organization structure aside, with regard to organization culture, the best environment is one that encourages self-awareness, peer reviewed, and questioning of existing procedures. So in short, we are talking about the structure. Okay. the structure of the uh, the intelligence. Okay, and we have learned that this can be either hierarchical or flat, but each of these have got their own advantages and disadvantages. Because of that, the hybrid model is often recommended. The hybrid model is often recommended. Okay. So let's continue. We look at the rows. So an intelligent function typically consists of managers, analysts, and operation specialists. So these are the key people that are part of this uh, uh, role of performing intelligence functions. The managers, analysts, as well as the operation specialists. Okay, so they may be organized according to phases of the intelligence life cycle or according to categories of threat actors or TPP. Some of specialist roles include the following. So these are some of the roles that you expect. Okay, these are some of the roles that you expect. We have intelligence coordinator. This person set the scope and the direction. Okay, set the scope and direction. Then he or she liaises with customers and is accountable for team's performance and operation security. Okay, so this person liaises with customers and is accountable for team's performance and the operation security. So that's the intelligence coordinator. It's basically there to coordinate and provide the scope and direction that the department must follow or the organization must follow. Then the operations team, this handles administrative and coordination functions, including refining customer requirement, allocating resources, and managing them through the intelligent cycle. Okay, so these are the functions associated with the operations team. Okay, then you have the quality team. These are responsible for managing the quality of intelligence product delivered to the customer by undertaking quality assurance as well as quality control. So they must be able to ensure that the 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 product being delivered meets the standard that are required. If not, then the product should not be delivered to the client. Then the intelligent analyst, this one perform core intelligent tasks focusing on social, cultural, and the geopolitical analysis with generalized synthesizing desperate research and specialists applying a deep understanding of a particular domain. So that is what these colleagues does. This is the role of the this is the role of the intelligence analyst. So they perform a core intelligence task by focusing on social, cultural, and geopolitical analysis. So their duty is more on the aspect of analysis. Then malware engineers, what role do they focus on? Okay, so what do you think they do? What do you think they do? Malware engineer, Mr. Benzolo. What do you think malware engineer does? Mm, okay. Nelson, what do you think malware engineers do? Mhm. Okay. Look out for malwares in the system. Okay, like we say, reverse engineer malicious code samples and monitor their behavior inside the control environment. So initially, like both of you have said, they look at they conduct that analysis, okay, from the code that is provided to them, okay, and do uh, and do the analysis, okay. They conduct those analysis and they discover whether the a particular code contains some aspect of um, contrary behavior based on the policies and so forth. And if that is the case, then they communicate with the security engineers and so on. Okay, so the aspect is just to uh, analyze the sample, the code samples, and monitor their behavior. Okay. Then you have the technical security engineer. This one develop collection and analysis tools. They analyze network traffic and undertake vulnerability research. Okay, that's what these colleagues do. They come up with the tools and analyze network traffic. Okay, and also they keep on conducting research to be able to understand new um, forms of vulnerability. As you may be aware, okay, as you may be aware, these colleagues are sorry, those colleagues who are into malware, who are into this um, online scams and so on. They keep on researching on new ways to try and launch attacks. So as a result, these people must be able to be on top of their game and be able to understand traffic or any strange behavior that may be associated with a particular network traffic. So it should be noted that one individual might perform more than one role depending on their skills, as well as the scope, size, and maturity of the intelligent function. Okay, so a particular individual may be able to perform more than one function. You may be a malware engineer at the same time working as a technical security engineer. Okay, the skills. Okay, the skills. Um, with regard to the skills, an intelligent function requires additional set of skills over and above the standard technical skill found in an information security function, such as intrusion detection, penetration testing, programming, and incident handling. Okay, so what you are saying, the aspect of intelligence is basically a blend of art and science. Okay, you mix these two because you keep on trying to discover new ways, trying to come up with the best way to solve these security problems. So intelligent personnel tend to deploy a variety of skills in disciplines such as psychology, sociology, linguistics, and the geopolitical in comparison with the information security. Okay, security personnel whose skills lie primarily in computer technology. Okay, so that's the difference between these two colleagues. The intelligent personnel, okay, considers so many disciplines in order for them to be able to understand what is being advanced by the attackers. So they first need to understand the psychology, the sociology, the linguistic aspect. Okay, then they should also be able to understand the language, and then that will help them to come up with the best way to provide and gather that intelligence information that they require. Okay, unlike the security personnel who only understand the aspect of computer technology. So with intelligence, the approach to execution is experimental. Okay, is experimental. What again? Exploratory and creative, compared with a largely linear execution approach in information. So in this case, for you to gather that intelligence information, you have to explore many avenues or different avenues. Okay, you need to keep on exploring different avenues so that you um, um, don't miss out on anything that can give you credible information to what the attacker is trying to do. Okay, so threat intelligence in commercial environment is basically relatively immature discipline compared to it in traditional role in the public sector. Okay, so in business, the aspect of threat intelligence is not that common. It's still being developed. Okay, so there are therefore fewer individuals who can demonstrate the standard 10,000 hour expertise standard or 2,500 hour being a more realistic figure. Okay, So that is the thing. We can say it's not widely used in businesses at the moment, but it is widely used in the public sector. That said, okay, that said, there are some general skill characteristics that many government intelligence analysis function have used for years and are commonly agreed within the industry. So these include the following. Okay, these are some of the characteristics, some general skills characteristics that have been agreed upon and they've been used for years. Okay, these include the following. Um, you need, there's an application of classical research method to collect, organize, and evaluate data. First, there's an aspect of you put research there. Through research, then you are able to collect, organize data. You collect this data, you organize it, and then you do your evaluation. Okay, you do the evaluation. Then you need to apply analytical methods such as hypothesis um, to generate and test or discourse analysis and behavioral profiling. Okay, so you apply that aspect of um, hypothesis testing. You test the hypothesis, meaning these are just assumptions which you have to test at the end of your studies. Okay, come in. Yes, I'm in class. Yes, what's the problem? Which classes? We've been meeting. Which assignment? Which one are you taking? When you do the presentation for which course, database or uh, be ready, you can do anytime. Anytime. Which one? No, you'll be communicated. Mm. Why you want to start missing the lessons after presenting? Which work? And you a full-time student. So you're on WhatsApp. Hmm? So you are on part-time rather. Or you're on order. Yeah, your residentials will be starting soon again. Okay, so I think you are starting next week. Presentation. No presentation. Mm. Where do you belong? You said you're on part time. So now presentation you want to do it full time or it's more like you are not decided. So that's what I'm saying. Which one? Full time or what? Part time. Full time we're starting this week. classes for.
4 times just to catch up with everything because I've missed a lot.
But you registered for
I'm on distance.
you registered for distance.
Yes, yes.
You want to come and do part time.
Yeah, it's because I missed the classes a lot.
Mm.
So I'm far behind now. Just trying to catch up.
But, you have to check on the timetable and see if
I do have it.
yeah, then it's fine.
Okay, boss. Okay. And then the other issue is that that time I came to add one course. It wasn't added.
I can do that. I don't have those rights now because registration is closed.
Okay, but then the course isn't there on my access to it. But it used
You
to be
should
there.
check with the guys in 211. Quiet people. I'm sure they'll be able to.
No. Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, colleagues, sorry for that. Continue. So, the other aspect is to deal with incomplete information, describing ambiguous situations, and apply a high level of intuition, curiosity, and imagination in order to join the dot and make a judgment. So, this is another skill that the intelligent personnel needs. Okay, so you need to be able to in case you find that the information may not be complete and so forth, you should be able at least to come up with means and ways to try um, and build it up to try and probably just come up um, with an assumption of what was supposed to be the complete information. Then you need to apply critical thinking to assess a situation dispassionately and argue both sides of the position. Okay, you alternate between each one as a new information arises. So critical thinking also comes in very handy because regardless of the situation, you need to apply that critical thinking in order for you to be able um, to ensure that you get influence of cognitive bias and other cognitive traps that can compromise analysis. It is your duty to filter and ensure that certain cases that may bring in biasness, okay, must be avoided. So you should be aware of these so that you avoid them in order for you to just produce the report as it is. Then you can speak other languages and understand social, cultural, and geopolitical characteristics of of a particular country or region. So you need to be able to also be conversant with the languages and so on. So speak. Also, you're saying you should be able to manage human relationship effectively when undertaking the the intelligent aspect. Okay, so you need to understand this very well. So this human intelligence, you need to make sure that you effectively manage that relationship, because for you to collect the information you need to establish a good relationship with the target audience, and then you'll be able um, to bring them to terms with what you want to do. Then you need to be able to communicate effectively with customers and non-expert in the field. Okay, so communication comes in very handy. This is also part of the skill that you need for you to be able to collect the information that you need. Then remain calm under pressure. Even when you're under pressure, don't look to panic, but stay calm. Then demonstrate the personal characteristics required for obtaining high level security clearance. Okay, so you need to demonstrate the personal characteristics so that you are able to get the information that you need, because this is a security information and could be very sensitive to the organization. So for them to uh, release this information, there's a certain way you need to be. Okay. So team personnel may have background in information security, or may come from the private security or police or military and intelligence communities. As with all teams, success ultimately lies in the balance of diverse skills and personality types. Okay, so all you need is the skills, and those are the skills that we've outlined above. Okay, so those are the guidelines that are used in government and other um, institutions. Standards that is accepted. Then professional standards. An intelligent function need to operate at a high level of professionalism, with all team members acting diligently, securely, and with integrity. Three particularly important areas are summarized below. Okay, so they are summarized below. So what you are saying is that as a profession, as an intelligent personnel, you need to operate at an you have to operate in a more professional manner. Okay, you need to operate in a more professional manner, because that is the only way you'll be able to get the information that you need. Okay, so now we are seeing, while you look at this is an open platform, a system for intelligence, the OSINT. This is easily the most accessible form of information. It is also, it's so abundant that it can be difficult to distinguish signal from noise. So it is there to probably just give you the information that you need. So like we said here, there are three particular important areas that you need to understand as a professional in this area. So there's a legal and ethical data collection. When trying to collect the data, you have to consider legal and the ethical data collection technique. So we have this. This open this open platform, okay, this platform that is needed for you to be able to gather the requirements. It is difficult. It is also difficult actually to. We are saying it can be difficult to judge its authenticity, of course. Although this collection appears to be a risk-free practice, it can present both legal and ethical issues that vary from country to country. So on this platform, you can easily get the legal and ethical data collection guide that you need in order for you to be able um, in order for you to be able to get the intelligence information that you deserve, that you want. Come in. Mr. Banda, good morning.
Yes, Serena.
Uh,
Yes, you're in the class.
yes, I'm in class.
Oh,
Yes, I'm on it.
morning.
Thank you.
Yes, we're doing quiz.
Sure.
So we're asking for printing.
Oh, sure. You can print.
I don't know the connections. Is it any computer which can connect? I need to send to you.
No, you need to set up.
Oh,
Uh, how many copies do you want?
I think 100. Yeah, 100. Yeah. Or maybe we just make it 110.
Oh, okay. Don't normally. Is it from the examinations?
Not here.
I think so.
Oh,
Maybe you try.
because I say.
Because those are the ones who normally print anything to do with yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But if they say otherwise, we can just try and print it.
Okay.
Mm, thank you.
Okay.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We say they should have papers. If not, you can still get some papers from me.
Come back.
No problem. Okay, so it is therefore imperative that an intelligent function demonstrate that the means by which it acquires information is both legal and ethical. So two relevant initiatives in these areas in this area are the codes of ethics promoted by OSIRA. Okay, this is Open Source Intelligence and Research Association. Okay, an international body dedicated to enhancing the knowledge and the expertise of the information that is gotten from this platform with regard to legal and ethical data collection. Okay, then from the OSIRA, we also have what you call the strategic and competitive intelligence profession, strategic and competitive intelligence professionals, which is a global non-profit membership organization for professionals involved in competitive intelligence. So, okay, so also relevant here are the provisions of the Computer Misuse Act for secure materials against unauthorized access or modifications. Okay, so what you are saying is that for you to collect this intelligent information as a profession, there are certain standards that you need to take into consideration. One of it is the legal and ethical data collection that you need to understand, you can familiarize with yourself with under the OS intelligent platform. Okay, then there's what we also call the legal admissibility and the evidential weight. Okay, this is another point you need to understand. So I'm saying organizations that intend to supply intelligence to law enforcement need to ensure the legal admissibility and evidential weight of all information collected, analyzed, and disseminated ethically. Okay, so if you intend to supply this information you've collected to law enforcement agency, you need to ensure the legal aspect are followed to the letter. Okay. Then we have the aspect of security and data protection. Security and data protection, we are saying the threat intelligence function must satisfy either than normal security and data protection requirements over and above standard requirement regarding physical security, information security, and business continuity. Okay, so these are some of the aspects that you need to take into consideration. So um, these are the three important areas that you need to understand as a security profession. Security intelligence personnel, you need to understand the legal and ethical data collection, the legal admissibility and evidential weight, and finally, the security and the data protection. Okay. Then the manual, the maturity model. The maturity model, this section discusses the maturity model relating to the production and the consumption of threat intelligence. Okay, so maturity model relating to the production and the consumption of threat intelligence. Okay. Okay, so now an important covered that all models, okay, maturity or otherwise are approximations of reality and should be treated as such. Or to quote the noted statistician George Box, essentially, according to this guy, all models are wrong, but some are useful. Okay, that is George Box, who is a statistician, said all models that we develop are wrong, but some are useful. Okay, so now the extent, the extent to which an organization needs to assign a maturity model will basically depend on its particular circumstances and the requirements. Okay, that is the extent to which an organization needs to ascend a maturity model. So when you look at the aspect of ascend, is basically to rise or to climb, for you to be considered that, for your organization to be considered that it has reached the maturity level, there must be requirements, certain requirements that must be fulfilled. Okay, there's intelligence production. Okay, intelligence production. So maturity models for threat intelligence producers are relatively common and straightforward. Okay, they typically comprise three levels. they comprise three levels. One is the initial level, which is development core capability, to develop the core capability. Then there's industrialized, where you expand the scope and refine the operations. Then there's the optimized, becoming fully proactive. Okay, so it is at the industrialized level where significant changes occurs. Okay, here at the industrialized, because there you just provide the scope and develop the core capability, but here now you expand that scope and you refine the operations. Then at the optimized level, the model becomes fully proactive. So it is at the industrialized level where this occurs. Okay, so we are saying in particular beginning the shift from an inward-looking reactive stance to an outward-facing, which is proactive. Then you also develop an analytical specialties within the team. Then you increase the levels of automation. Now, very important to note that at the optimized level, the team is proactively identifying emerging intelligence. That's at the proactive uh, level. Okay, some of which may be relevant to the customers before the customer has even inquired about them, because the team will have already discovered this aspect in advance before they are even um, uh, discovered by the client. So I guess we end here. Okay. And any concern?